Hey friends, jarred pasta sauce is one of my absolute favorite at-home culinary shortcuts. So we're gonna make a couple of ways to kind of notch it up, make it really nice, and make it super easy, but not taste like it came out of a jar. I've got some, not gonna mention the brand, higher end jarred pasta sauce that I personally really like just straight out of the jar. And then I've got some store brand. For the store brand, we're gonna turn it into a meat sauce with some ground pork and onions and other stuff. And for the vodka sauce, we're going to just kind of brighten it up with some fresh herbs, some fresh tomatoes, and amp it up. I'm also gonna make some garlic bread and some Caesar salad dressing. So hang out, check it out, and I'm gonna hop on the usual veg prep. See you in a minute. And the veg prep for this is nothing to be afraid of, seriously. We're just gonna dice some, cut the seeds out of tomatoes and dice them. We're gonna dice some onions. We're gonna rough chop some herbs. I am obviously just burning through it, so don't stress about it. You can get it done. It'll take like 10 minutes, easy peasy. Seriously, you can doctor store-bought sauce in less time than it would take you to order and pick up Italian food. So let's get to the rest of this now. For the herbs, it's just parsley, rosemary, a little bit of thyme, and then we're going to pick some basil and let it sit in some ice water while we wait, because basil will go gross if we leave it just sitting out at room temp in the air, and if we cook it too fast, like too much, it'll turn brown and gross. So, quick rough chop. These are all going to go in a bowl. Basil's going to go in a little bowl of ice water, and these are going to get used in a few different ways throughout the recipes. They'll be in both sauces. They'll be in the garlic bread, butter. We're going to garnish with them. Yeah. I'm also going to cut the stems off of the basil after I pick it so that I can use those stems to flavor things while they simmer without damaging the pretty little basil leaves that we're going to use at the end. Hopping into the sauces, the first thing we're going to do is start with our meat sauce. We're going to do a mixture of extra virgin olive oil and canola oil because we want the flavor from the olive oil and we want the smoke point from the canola oil, so those will kind of balance out. We're going to get this up to pretty hot. We're going to pop the beef in, kind of smash it into the pan and spread it around and try to get as much surface area in contact with the super hot pan as we can. That's going to develop some really nice flavor, some really nice crust. The crust is going to get soft, but the flavor from the crust will stay the whole way through. So we're just going to let that go. We're going to break it up into smaller pieces as we go. And once we've got the meat cooked off and got some good browning on it, we'll go ahead and add our onions, and we'll let those go until they get nice and soft and they soak up some of the flavor and the fond in the bottom of the pan. And we'll continue on from there with the sauce. And with the tomato sauce, we're going to add some of those herb stems and some heels from our Parmesan cheese, and then we're on to our second sauce. This one is even easier. We're going to add the jar to the pan. We're going to heat it up. We're going to add some of our fresh herbs and some of our basil stems and some of our tomatoes, not all of anything. And we're just going to let that simmer for, 15, 20 minutes while we get some other stuff ready. And then right at the end, we'll go ahead and add in the last of our tomatoes, the last of our fresh herbs, and our fresh basil leaves. With both of our sauces simmering for a little bit, let's get on to our side dishes. Our Caesar salad dressing for the lettuce and our garlic bread. There's a lot of ways to make Caesar salad dressing. I'm going to make kind of a creamy Caesar, even though it doesn't have any cream in it. We're going to use some garlic, whole garlic cloves. We're going to use anchovy paste, optional. But you won't notice it as anchovy paste if it's there, but you'll notice something missing if you don't put it in. But yeah, garlic, anchovy paste, a bunch of grated Parmesan cheese, salt, pepper. Normally you would add an egg yolk to these, but I'm going to be sharing this dressing with somebody who has an egg allergy, so we're going to hope that the garlic has enough emulsifying. As I record the voiceover, I'm realizing I also should have put some mustard in here, which helps explain why it, spoilers, didn't keep together. But you'll notice that later. Anyway, yeah. So all of that in a blender, a little bit of olive oil to get it going, and then just stream in some olive oil until it is smooth and delicious and creamy. It's going to be a sharp, racing sauce. There's a lot of raw garlic in here. There's a lot of strong flavors. It's going to hit. But it's going to hit nice, and it's going to taste really good. So once that's done, we're going to go ahead and get it out into a squeeze bottle. Again, squeeze bottles are one of my favorite ways to make home cooking look chefy. Strongly recommend. You can pick them up at grocery stores and kitchen supply stores pretty cheap. And you can use them over and over and over again. But yeah, so with this dressing ready, let's go ahead and start in on the garlic bread and get that going. The herb butter, of course, also super easy. This is just like 3 tablespoons of butter that I've had sitting on the stove, getting soft and a little melty. I'm going to throw a bunch of herbs in there, some salt, some pepper, some MSG, some garlic powder and garlic, obviously, to make garlic bread. And then we're just going to slather it all over the bread in a a nice thick layer. That bread's going to go under the broiler. Don't make my mistake. You'll see what it is again in a minute. And you've got, in about 2 minutes, you've got great garlic bread. If you don't have a broiler, you can do it in the oven. It'll just take like about 8 minutes, I think. Garlic bread's one of those things that always takes longer than you think, but not as long as you want it to, or vice versa. Just keep an eye on it. Once it's like, check it after a couple minutes. Once it looks close, check it constantly. It goes from golden brown and delicious to burnt in a blink of an eye. So yeah, keep an eye on your garlic bread as you're cooking it. Professional advice from a guy who's made mistakes before. And the herbs in this are, of course, just it's some dried oregano that I had in the cabinet, and then just the fresh herbs that we're putting in the sauces. And while our garlic bread toasts, I'm going to go ahead and add the last little bit of herbs and our fresh tomatoes to our vodka sauce. This is going to layer those flavors. We'll have the herbs and tomatoes that have sat and simmered in there that'll add some richness and kind of base flavors. These fresh herbs and tomatoes that are going in the last moment, these will add some nice freshness, brightness, a little bit of textural variation. It'll be absolutely delicious. So, without further ado, I think it's time to sauce up this pasta. So, I'm saucing these restaurant style, so to speak. I'm adding the sauce to the pan and then adding some pasta water and adding some pasta. This is a really good way to sauce individual portions of pasta without having to sauce all of the pasta you made. I'm using penne for the meat sauce because it'll hold the sauce pretty well and the little bits of meat will get caught in the tubes. And yeah, it's important to consider your sauce when you're considering your pasta shape. These things matter, and it's one of those little technique things that makes your dinner, makes your food a little bit elevated. So with the penne sauce, let's get on to saucing, I guess with the meat sauce saucing the penne, let's get on to the vodka sauce that's going to sauce some fettuccine. And we're doing the same thing here. Sauce into the pan, a little bit of pasta water, toss the sauce in, or toss the pasta in, toss, 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 get it all nice and coated, ready to go. As we continue repeating techniques that we've done before, we're gonna dress and toss our salad, squirt it around the outside, toss the lettuce through the dressing to kind of pull it off the side. Don't forget to season your greens as you go. You want to season every individual piece of your meal. It makes food taste better if it's seasoned individually and seasoned collectively. So, don't neglect any given ingredient. But with the salad ready, let's move on to the garlic bread. Now you may be saying to yourself, Wash, you said that this was going to be about the garlic bread, not about how you're plating the fettuccine using some tongs to twirl it up really nicely in the plate. And, well, and you'd be right, except, so here's the thing. Remember how I said I made a mistake with the garlic bread earlier? Yeah, I'm about to realize that mistake, and let's just sit back and watch what happens.
Don't put parchment paper under a broiler, kids. Oh well.
Yeah, sometimes things happen. Anyway, let's get some cheese on this, and we'll get the other stuff plated and give it a taste, right? Stand by for your beauty shot. There we go. It looks amazing. I did salvage a fair amount of the garlic bread, so let's taste this.
Okay, let's taste this. It looks all amazing. I gotta go garlic bread first. Just who I am as a person. All right. Despite the parchment catching on fire and getting a little char on this, it's absolutely delicious. Hell yeah. Let's try the doctored fancy sauce. I should have saved some of the undoctored to compare with, but oh well. It's got all the usual vodka sauce stuff, but adding the onion and the basil and the herbs while we were cooking it and the fresh tomatoes just really kind of, it rounds it out. It makes it more complex instead of just being like, yep, this is a jar of pasta sauce. It's sauce. It's pasta sauce that's worth, you know, eating, and it's delicious. All right, let's try the more from scratch. So this was this one was just a jar that we added herbs and seasonings and stuff to. This one is a meat sauce that we used by using a jar of pasta sauce as the tomato part. So this is kind of a little more semi-homemade, if you want. And it's great. I've made scratch meat sauce that's, you know, better than this, but on par. Like, it's not that far off. So, yeah, good times. Well, so there's a small chance that the rest of that wasn't picked up by the mic, but whatever. Let's try the Caesar, which is just arugula and romaine and the Caesar dressing we made a minute ago. Yep, nothing wrong with that. I love Caesar salad in general. I love homemade Caesar also. I probably should have actually put the egg yolks in it because it would have held together better. So it broke, not like terribly, but it is a little broken. But yeah. This is so good. You can make, I've said it before, I'll say it again. You can make restaurant quality food at home. It just takes a little bit of technique and some extra ingredients, and you're good to go. Give these a try. Let me know how they turn out for you. If you have any questions, of course, put them in the comments. I'm happy to make other suggestions for ways to doctor it. Catch me on various social medias, Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram. They're all in the description. Yeah, a like would be great. A subscribe would be awesome. Checking out some other videos I've made would be great. But most importantly, cook a little more, eat a little bit better, and we'll catch you next time here on Washing Dishes. Thanks for watching.